Have you ever heard of a modern-day hero who fought tirelessly for justice and unity in Africa and the Caribbean? Meet Walter Rodney. Recently, after sharing my video titled, "How Did Europe Exploit, Divide, and Conquer Africa?" at Apollo Nwasiama posted this comment: "You are truly another Walter Rodney. Keep it up." This comparison sparked my interest in learning more about Walter Rodney and the impact of his legacy. This video aims to uncover who Walter Rodney was, his mission, the obstacles he faced, and his enduring legacy. Greetings and welcome. I'm Carolyn A. from GettingToTheRoots.com. Here, we're all about uncovering and celebrating your unique family history. Together, we'll explore and honor the stories that define us. Let's dive in. Who was Walter Rodney, and why should we remember him? Walter Rodney was born on March 23, 1942, in Georgetown, British Guiana, now Guyana, a small country on the northern coast of South America. His early years were marked by the colonial context in which he lived, experiencing firsthand the racial and social inequalities imposed by British rule. Rodney's academic journey began in local schools, earning him a scholarship to Queen's College, the top secondary school in Guyana. His outstanding performance there led to a further scholarship to study at the University of the West Indies, UWI, in Jamaica. At UWI, Rodney continued to distinguish himself academically, particularly in history, which became his passion. After completing his undergraduate degree with first-class honors, Rodney moved to the United Kingdom to pursue his doctoral studies. He attended the School of Oriental and African Studies, SOAS, in London, one of the world's leading institutions for the study of Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. At SOAS, Rodney's research focused on African history, and he earned his PhD in 1966 with a thesis on the slave trade on the Upper Guinea coast. This academic achievement set the stage for his later influential work on the impact of European colonialism in Africa. Rodney's education was not just about academic achievement, it was also during this time that he began to form his political consciousness and commitment to social justice. What drove Walter Rodney to become an advocate for social justice? Walter Rodney's mission was multifaceted but rooted deeply in his commitment to advocating for the working class and promoting African history and culture. He believed that understanding history was essential to achieving social justice and empowering marginalized communities. Rodney's work was driven by a desire to challenge the narratives imposed by colonial powers and to highlight the strength and resilience of African and Caribbean peoples. Rodney was particularly focused on the struggles of the working class and the poor. He saw them as the backbone of society, whose contributions were often overlooked or exploited by those in power. His advocacy extended beyond academic circles. He actively engaged with grassroots movements and worked directly with communities to raise awareness. And he mobilized action against social and economic injustices. One of Rodney's most significant contributions to both academia and activism was his groundbreaking book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, published in 1972. In this seminal work, Rodney provided a comprehensive and critical analysis of the devastating impact of European colonialism on the African continent. The book argues that Europe's economic advancement was fundamentally linked to the deliberate underdevelopment of Africa. Rodney meticulously detailed how colonial powers extracted resources, exploited labor, and dismantled local economies to benefit European nations. He debunked the myth that Africa was underdeveloped due to its own internal failures. Instead, showed that it was the result of systematic exploitation and oppression by European colonialists. Rodney's work was revolutionary in that it shifted the perspective on African history and development. It empowered African scholars and activists to reclaim their narratives and to see their struggles within a global context of resistance against imperialism and capitalism. How did Rodney's teaching transform thoughts and actions? Rodney's tenure at UWI was marked by his commitment to decolonizing education. He challenged the Eurocentric curriculum and worked to introduce more African-centered perspectives into the study of history. His efforts aimed to empower students by connecting them with their cultural heritage and providing them with the intellectual tools to challenge oppression and inequality. Rodney traveled extensively, sharing his insights and organizing efforts against oppression and inequality across Africa and the Caribbean. In 1968, the Jamaican government banned him from re-entering the country after attending the Black Writers' Conference in Canada. This action sparked widespread protests, known as the Rodney Riots, highlighting the deep impact of his message with the Jamaican people and beyond. What challenges did Rodney face for his beliefs and actions? Walter Rodney's ideas and outspoken criticism of colonialism, capitalism, and the inequalities perpetuated by post-colonial governments made him a target for hostility from those in power. Rodney's teachings and writings were seen as a direct challenge to the existing power structures, which were often rooted in colonial legacies and continued to exploit and oppress the majority of the population. In both Africa and the Caribbean, Rodney faced surveillance, censorship, and other forms of repression. The tragic end. What happened to Walter Rodney? Walter Rodney's life was tragically cut short on June 13, 1980, when he was assassinated in Georgetown, Guyana. He was just 38 years old. Rodney's death came under mysterious and highly controversial circumstances that many believe were politically motivated. At the time of his assassination, Rodney was a prominent member of the Working People's Alliance, WPA, a political party in Guyana that resisted the oppressive government of President Forbes Burnham. Despite numerous calls for a thorough investigation into Rodney's death, the truth has remained elusive, and justice has not been served. The lack of accountability and transparency regarding his assassination has been a source of continued frustration and anger among his supporters and those who admired his work. Walter Rodney is remembered as a martyr for his unwavering dedication to justice, equality, and the empowerment of the oppressed. His assassination only solidified his status as a symbol of resistance against tyranny and injustice. His ability to bridge the gap between academia and grassroots movements demonstrated the importance of using knowledge as a tool for social change. Memorials and tributes to Rodney have been established around the world. The Walter Rodney Foundation, established by his family, works to preserve and promote his legacy, advocating for the same principles of social justice and equality that Rodney championed throughout his life. I invite you to delve deeper into the life and work of Walter Rodney. Explore his writings, and consider how his ideas might inform our understanding of historical and current issues of inequality and oppression. By engaging with Rodney's legacy, we can continue the important work of building a more just and equitable world for all. And that's a wrap on remembering and honoring Walter Rodney. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with more content like this. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.